1 year of ownership of my Sjobergs Elite 2000 workbench. Has it been worth it? How has it held up? And would I buy it again? Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Fáilte Sjobergs, chuig ma céardlán. Welcome back to my workshop. Now, my Sjobergs Elite 2000 workbench. I have owned this for about a year now, and I've been using it for the last year. It's been in my workshop, which is not the best possible environment to have one of these workbenches because I cannot control the temperature and humidity in here. As long standing viewers of my channel would know my everlasting battle with humidity. But I wanted to do a 1 year review, let you guys know how this workbench has actually held up inside my workshop. How I've enjoyed using it, what I would change, the pros and cons, and would I actually buy this workbench again. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start, I'll just take you around the workbench. I'll show you what I bought and what came with it. Let's do it. Okay, let me very quickly take you through the specs of this workbench. Now, like I said, this is the Sjobergs Elite 2000 workbench. I bought it with the cabinet pack. I also purchased the risers for the feet, so that's the adjustable legs. Now, I've added a wheel kit to this, so the legs are no longer adjustable. I don't need it to be adjustable. I just wanted it to be a little bit higher because I'm a little bit taller. The standard workbench was a little bit low for me, so I bought the feet that raise it up. So the total height of this workbench, if any of you guys are interested, at the minute now it sits at just 995 millimeters. So it's 39.5 inches to the top, which is about where I like my workbench to be. About 40 inches is a good height for me. It's a good working height. If you're a little bit taller, you want a higher workbench. If you're a little bit shorter, a lower workbench. Always make sure that you keep your work at a nice, comfortable height for you. So your workbench doesn't need to be a standard height. It needs to suit you. Now, total width, it's just 2 foot wide, 600 millimeters, and it is 6'2" in length when you have the tail vise on, or 188 centimeters. The top itself, it's made from beech, so it's all European beech that this workbench is made from. The top itself is just over 3.5 inches in thickness, so that's 85 millimeters. The two outside aprons are over 4 inches, so they're about 4.25 inches, that's 110 millimeters. And it is a tongue and grooved top. So you have full length beech boards running end to end. You have two end kind of like breadboards on the end then that are bolted in. And these are all tongue and grooved to add to stability, which is really nice. The top itself weighs somewhere in the region of 90 kilos, so it's around 200 pounds. It is pretty heavy. It takes 2 people to lift this in place. If you guys remember, you will have seen me assemble this workbench. I could not lift this top on my own. It was too heavy, which is what you want in a workbench. You want it to be stable. You want all that force to go down into the ground. You don't want it rocking in any shape or form when you're planing and using it. And yeah, it's a nice, solid, heavy construction. Okay, before we get into work holding and how it has been to use this workbench, I just want to talk about how it has held up in this environment. It's the top question that I get about this workshop. John, how has it held together inside in your workshop? Because you guys are curious. Again, you have guys have got garden sheds and stuff. You don't have workshops where you can control temperature and humidity. At least most of you guys don't. Well, like I said, this is the worst possible environment to possibly put this workbench. Sjobergs recommend 40 to 55% humidity. Now, right now in here, it's about 41% humidity. That's perfect, but we're midsummer now, so it's not an issue. In the winter, it's 80, 90% humidity in this workshop, and there's nothing I can do about it. Now, the wood does move. The top has stayed exceptionally flat. It has not stayed perfectly flat. So I will show you guys that. I'll roll in some footage. You can see just little gaps under the ruler. But for the conditions that this workshop is in from all year round, where I have massive swings in humidity, it has remained exceptionally flat. It has beaten my expectations. I'll put it to you guys that way, and I'm more than happy with it. Like I said, it is not the perfect environment, and you can see just little light lines underneath that ruler. I'll roll in the shots and you guys will be able to see it. So, any of you guys who have any concerns about buying this workbench and you're putting it in your garden shed maybe, or your garage, it will hold up. It can hold up to that fluctuations in humidity levels, temperatures throughout the year. It has remained extremely stable and extremely flat from the conditions that I put it through. Okay, stability wise, this workbench is more than heavy enough, and if you fill that tool cabinet full of tools, then it gets exceptionally heavy. Now I've only got light tools in my tool cabinet because I store all my main tools on the wall behind me. But I have had absolutely no issues with this bench moving. Now, when it comes to humidity and stuff as well, you have to adjust the frame, so the legs. That was my biggest concern when I first saw this table. I thought those legs might be a little bit on the small side, but my fears were completely unfounded. It has been exceptionally stable and exceptionally strong. And you really have to shove it in order to get this thing to move. I'm putting a lot of force into it. You will never put that much force into it with your hand plane, especially if you have a properly sharpened hand plane. This bench does not move, it stays perfectly stable. Now, you do have to adjust the bolts in the frame seasonally because obviously wood expands and shrinks. It will begin to rock and rack if you don't keep those adjusted. So just grab a spanner, tighten them up when it begins to rack, loosen them up when the humidity levels rise, and it will stay perfectly stable. Okay, let's talk about work holding. One of the most important things that your woodworking workbench has to be able to do. This bench, exceptional. I have a few gripes, there is a few little issues, and I will deal with that now. So, it comes with two voices, so I have my face voice here, or my side voice, I have my tail voice, end voice here, and these are reversible. So I can take this, I can put it over to that side, I can take that, and I can put it to that side if I want. So you can set it up whether you're left-handed or right-handed, and you can set the voices up to suit you, which is nice. Now, the voices themselves, they have a nice big coarse thread on the screw, so they're very, very fast to wind in and wind out. No quick release. That might be an issue for some of you guys, but really they go in and out so fast. It has never been an issue for me. Now, one of the major gripes I have is the screw. It does disengage. There's no stop collar on the end of that screw. So I'll show you guys. I'll get you in for a closer look. It's a bit of a faff to get it re-engaged again, and it's only a quarter of a turn when you get to the end of that screw for it to disengage, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, well, here's a close-up of the mechanism of the voice. You can see that nice coarse threaded screw. You can also see we have square tubing, not round tubing, so this resists racking. I'll show you that in a second and why that's important. But I've wound that out now. Look, and that screw has disengaged. So in order to get that back in, it can be a little bit of a faff to get that to re-engage again. There you go, it's re-engaged there now. So I do find that very annoying. I wind it out and the screw slips. They should really put a little stop collar on the end of it just to prevent you unscrewing the screw. Now, the really nice thing about having square tubing or rectangular tubing either side is that you can clamp your board just like this on the edge of your vise, and it does not rack. On a standard vise that's prone to racking, you would have to put another piece of timber the same thickness on this side to stop that from racking. So it clamps perfectly parallel to your apron all the time because of how these vices are set up, and they're really nice. One more little gripe, maybe I'm nitpicking here, and maybe I'm not. The rubberized cork for the vice, for the vice jaws, that's an extra, so it doesn't come with the workbench. And I think for the price of these benches, you know, I think it should come with them. They are not cheap, so, you know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I don't know. But it's just a little gripe I have. I think that should be included in the price. So working on the edge of your board, absolutely no problem. I have no issues. Likewise, working on the end of your board, if you're cutting dovetails, again, it's good and solid. The bench is not moving. All that force is going into the material and it's not been lost by a wobbly bench. So work holding is exceptional apart from that screw. Okay, holding material on the top of the workbench itself. So if you're working on the face of your boards, again, there's lots of options. So we have a series of dog holes running the full length of the bench. We also have dog holes running in line with your vise on the side, which is nice. So with the Elite workbench does come with 4 steel dogs, and these are very, very heavy duty dogs. They are beefy, they are solid, and they have been absolutely fantastic for when it comes to holding work. The dog holes are not standard. They are 1 inch or 25mm dog holes. Dog holes are usually 19mm or 3/4 inches. It does mean that my standard hold fasts do struggle a little bit in these holes. Now I could make collars for them. You can buy bigger holdfasts, but they do work. So you will be able to use your 19mm or 3/4 inch standard holdfast with it if that's what you have. I also bought these extra. These are the holdfast screw type ones, so something similar that you would see to a welding table. These have been absolutely fantastic. So you just drop them in place, screw them down, and they get a serious grip. So, you know, highly recommend, if you're going to get one of these workbenches, get yourself a set of these, because whether you're clamping on the likes of a Moxon vise or you're holding your board like this, these are exceptional. Now, obviously, as well as that, I can use my vices with the dogs to clamp pieces. So I can, you know, you can plane the face of your board. Just like that. You can do it here, you can do it on the end. Shorter boards are good here. You can do your longer boards from the end. Again, just watch out for that screw. So obviously you have to get your dog holes to line up. Sometimes your material a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, and you end up winding that screw out again, which is a little bit annoying, and then you have to reset the screw. So again, bit of a gripe I have with those vices. But for holding the work, again, you can clamp it one side of the vise. The vise does not rack at all. I can put a lot of pressure on that piece of material between those two dogs, and it is rock solid, which is great. You can also set it up with 4 dogs in your vise, and you can actually clamp circular material between those 4 dogs, or a piece of sheet material as well, which is nice. And you have that option on both ends. Okay, last but not least, when it comes to work holding, the legs are perfectly flush with the aprons, and you can see we have a series of dog holes here and down there. So we can set up our dogs in here, and we can clamp longer material if we so choose. Now, this is just a sheet of OSB. It's just a prop, so forgive me for clamping OSB to my hand tool workbench. But like I said, again, this is just a prop, just to show you that you can absolutely catch larger items to the bench if you so choose, clamp it in place, and you can hold it and work on it if you so need. And that's a little bit oversized, and it's a sheet of OSB, but you know, you guys get the idea. You can absolutely do that. Okay, very quickly talk about the cabinet. Again, you can buy this as an extra. I bought this as a set. It came with the workbench. I got a deal on it. Yeah, it's been great. I've no complaints whatsoever. Store various tools in it, not much, bit of PPE there. I have various different items in there. I have some camera equipment in there. You kind of a large storage area in there, so I have a few tools in there as well. Now, you can see how much wood movement there is throughout the year here. That is a 12mm gap that I have between those two doors. I set this up in the winter time to be closed, and yeah, so each of these panels has moved 6mm now that the workshop has dried out a small bit. The drawers have never given me any issues throughout the winter, even with the humidity levels. They have never failed to open or close. These doors will bow and buckle a bit, and that gap really does close up in the winter time. Another nice little area then is underneath here. You have your kind of a tray area in there. That's just where I leave all my shooting boards and stuff. They all sit in underneath there, so it's a handy little area for storage. Okay, work area. Has this bench been big enough? Yes, absolutely. I have had absolutely no issues for any projects that I've been working on yet. 6'2" by 2 foot wide, it has been plenty. Now, it's a lot smaller than my previous workbench. My previous workbench was 4 foot by 8 foot, so, and I had a big tool well in the center, so it was a lot bigger. But you know what? I only ever used one side of that workbench, really, for most of the stuff that I did. So this is plenty big, and like I said, I've yet to have an issue where this has been too small. It just has not come up yet for the type of woodworking that I do. I also built this for it. So this was my workbench buddy, I called it. It's like a workbench tool holder, a little angle tool holder. This has been absolutely fantastic. I made a full video on this if you guys are interested in it. So I've, with some of you guys' suggestions, I've added magnets to it, so I can put my steel rulers on it, I can clip my saws to the side, I can hang my chisels on it when I'm using them, so they will just sit in there like that. And again, it just keeps all the tools up off the workbench. Everything is nicely within reach. It's nicely angled towards you, and you can just grab your mallet, grab your saw, grab your plane, marking, pencils, squares, measuring tape. All sits up there out of the way and keeps your work area nice and clean. I highly recommend, if you have a workbench, guys, that you build yourself one of these, regardless of the style of workbench that you have. If it has dog holes, make one of these. You will not regret it. Believe you me, they are brilliant. Now, I highly recommend adding a wheel kit to your workbench, or anything in your workshop. Really, you should keep it on wheels. Having the ability to keep everything movable and modular in your workshop is great, especially if you have a smaller space. And fitting the wheels to this just makes it nice and easy to move it around should I need to, which is great. And for cleaning under and that kind of thing, it's nice and handy. So definitely get yourself a set of wheels for it. Okay, last but not least, upkeep and maintenance. So what Sjobergs recommends is that you sand this regularly with 120 grit and just give it an oil. So the Elite 2000 has an oil finish, so they say you must use an oil in order to treat it. I use linseed oil. I seem to have good results with that. It's protecting the surface, stopping things sticking to it, that kind of thing. So I'm actually going to do it now. It has a few battle scars on it and needs a little bit of a sand again. So I'm going to give it a light sand, 120 grit, and just give it an oil. And that's really all you need to do for an upkeep. Some of their benches are lacquered. If they're lacquered, you have to put lacquer back on them. That's what they recommend. But yeah, let's get this done. So there you go, guys. That is the top, sanded and oiled. Takes a few minutes. I'll leave that now for a few hours before I work on it again. And that's really all you need to do. Now, I've oiled the underneath as well. As you guys have pointed out to me on several videos, I do listen to what you guys say. So just to make sure that the moisture is impacting both sides of the workbench evenly, so it doesn't bow or cup, or you don't get anything weird happening, it's best to oil the top and the bottom when you're doing it. But really only takes a few minutes and you have a beautiful work surface again. Now, I'm going to give one honourable mention, and that is to my perch stool, which I built for this workbench. So it is a stool designed for the workbench, and it has been absolutely brilliant. So I can sit here and work away, especially when I'm doing my Kumiko stuff. Keeps your back nice and straight. I have a full build video on this, guys, if you're interested. So just as a little addendum to making this workbench work even better, these two items have been great. Right, guys, so there we go. 1 year of ownership of this Sjobergs Elite 2000. So to sum up, work holding, stability, durability have been absolutely excellent. The screw on the vise is my only gripe that I have with this workbench. It has stood up exceptionally well to the conditions of my workshop. Now, this is not a cheap workbench. It's a big investment for any hobbyist to make, but I can say after 1 year of use and abuse that I think this is genuinely a lifetime workbench. And if you look after it, it will be a generational workbench. It will be something that you will be leaving to your children and your grandchildren. And if you take that into account, then it's really not that expensive if you get a lifetime of work and pleasure out of this bench. The cheapest place I've found it available is still Souter Shop in Germany. Now, they're not paying me, I'm not sponsored. I bought this with my own money. I bought it from Souter Shop. That's where the best deal I think on these workbenches are at the minute. Again, not paid, not sponsored, just letting you guys know where I got it. So if you're interested in these workbenches, I can highly recommend it to any of you guys. I am more than happy with how this has held up, how it has performed over the last year. It's an exceptional workbench. It's a beautiful workbench, and like I said, it's going to last generations. So that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here now. As always, hopefully you found this video informative. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Plenty of projects coming up. Massive thanks to all my channel members, guys. I know I'm not getting long form content out like I should. It's just work and time has really been against me lately. But I have loads of projects planned, and we're going to put this workbench to good use. So massive thanks, guys. Until the next one, take care.